there needs to be more rigor and vigour so that the SDG7 goals are achieved by 2030. We aim to contribute significantly to India's energy independence, reduce carbon emissions and create a sustainable future.
Welcome to this episode of Sustainability Karma. I'm your host Rajiv Tikoo. Today we have a very special guest with us, Bikesh Ogra. He's the promoter and MD of Jakson Green. Within 2 years, the company has become a $1 billion new energy transition platform.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome Bikesh Ogra to this edition of Sustainability Karma. What were the hits and misses of the union budget?
Some of the major highlights I would touch upon first is the continuity of the earlier points, right? That we had in our interim budget mentioned certain, boosts and certain stops. And it was a good, encouraging narrative on those earlier, messagings, and we didn't get derailed on our energy transition drive basis those narratives. The one I classically mentioned is an extension of the policies on continued focus against on PM Surya Muft Bijli Yojana, right? Which is free solar rooftops to the households, and also strengthening of feeder level availability to farmers under the Kusum was very well appreciated. I think these all measures were supplemented by an incremental allocation of around 46%, which translated from a 10,500 crore in the last year budget to around 19,000 odd crores from the current budget. I think one of the other key highlights was the critical mineral mission, right? That got announced. Yeah, I think in order to meet our increasing needs and integrate variable renewable energy sources into the grid, we are mandated to overbuild the capacities and with a sufficient storage technology. We clearly realize that the critical challenges in accessing the minerals like lithium, cobalt, nickel, which are primarily found in countries like, continents like South America, Africa, China, and Australia. So this budget has taken a very strategic view of not only focusing on securing these critical minerals, but also through boost in domestic production, but also accessing global supply chains. I think the three-pronged strategy of boosting domestic production, accessing overseas assets, and promoting recycling will enable us to have a relatively smoother access to the supply chain for Indian needs. I think besides, in order to circumvent the hegemony of some of the countries on these critical minerals, and don't want to name them, the budget has announced waiver of custom duties of almost 25 minerals and reduction on some other. I think there has been a talk about the pump storage policy, right? We haven't got the policies rolled out still, but then in the interim budget, there was a talk about it. And we all are eagerly waiting, for the policy to roll out, which will immensely help the integration of renewable energy into the grid and also will help tide over the intermittency issues, which is caused by renewable, as we all know, which is caused by renewable, energy sources like solar and wind. I think the other very important highlight was the budget emphasis on nuclear energy, constituting a substantial part of energy mix for the Viksit Bharat, right? A pursuit to partner with private, players and to develop these small modular reactors, right? I think SMRs, as they call it, in the form of Bharat small reactors. And when you talk about the major misses, I think there has been a long industry ask for GST waiver on electricity, solar and wind, EV, charging station, battery storage. I think this somehow, isn't being spoken about in the current budget. And there are hopes that are pinned for the next GST council meeting to get a view on this. I think though there has been a reduction in the capital goods on the solar manufacturing, but there has been an increase on solar glasses and the tinned interconnect for the solar module manufacturing, which obviously, has something, effect on the local manufacturing costs. Again, there has been not much being spoken about the ISTS waiver beyond June 25. The budget has been silent on that, right? I think the DISCOM's financial health, which has been a long, issue plaguing the DISCOMs, there hasn't been something which has been proposed to really address the financial struggles of DISCOMs. So these are some of the lowlights of the budget, in my opinion, or maybe something which work needs to be done around these issues.
What are the couple of challenges that are a matter of concern in the present?
The major challenge that I feel personally has been the grid infrastructure and the connectivity. I think that's where I think a lot of work needs to be done. The other point is on the green molecules, that I would say that we need to have focus towards bringing in, more takeoffs. There have been certain, contracts which have come in wherein the takeoffs are guaranteed, like the ammonia ones or the hydrogen ones. But there needs to be much more, I would say, robustness in those contracts, which will help us to adopt the greener fuels, which is green molecules, in a much faster and accelerated manner.
While India is making progress in SDG 7 on ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all, but is insufficient to attain the goal. How do we accelerate progress?
The current pace of progress, I think, falls short globally. Not only in India, falls short globally to achieve the target set for 2030.
Right.
See, these custodians, SDG 7 custodians agencies, have time and again emphasized the need to intensify our efforts towards achieving the 2030 goals. India isn't doing any better or bad in comparison to the global efforts, right? However, in order to accelerate the progress in some of the steps needed to be taken towards building an affordable energy access, accelerated energy deployment, enhance energy efficiency, and increase green finance from developed countries, right? Some of the key actions are, quick energy, renewable energy adoption in terms of solar rooftop and community solar projects, again through initiatives of PM Solar Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Improve the energy efficiency, right? I think we have an intent to double the energy efficiencies by 2030 and implement stringent energy efficiency standards for appliances and buildings. I think we should promote energy audits and energy efficient practices in industries. I think invest in public transportation and smart grid technologies. I think we need to subsidize clean cooking fuels and fuels like LPG and biogas in rural areas. And I think strengthen and promote energy access in rural areas, promote smart grid technologies for efficient energy management, strengthen rural electrification, efforts to increase the penetration of the renewable energy, promote off-grid. I think the other important factor is coal gasification, and carbon capture and utilization and storage, right? Though, there is a lot of talk around it, but minimizing emissions from existing coal-fired plants by using integrated coal gasification cycle, fluidized bed combustion, carbon capture and utilization and storage at scale with a very optimal cost is the need of the hour. I think one of the important factors that I feel is also important for the SDG goals is the compressed biogas. I think if we can strengthen the feedstock availability, which is available in abundance as an agri-waste, which will help us to really blend the existing gas network with the compressed biogas, and which will help us really bring down the emissions to a very large extent. We definitely are on the right path, but there needs to be some amount of more rigor and vigor around these so that the SDG7 goals are achieved by 2030.
How is Jakson Green contributing to national targets?
Well, Jakson Green is a entity which is hardly 2 years old. Jakson Green is very actively shaping the energy landscape through its commitment to renewable energy, green molecules, and we want to be amongst the leading stakeholders towards creating India's energy independence, right? I think we have rapidly scaled up our renewable energy EPC portfolio to around 5+ gigawatt. And we also have additionally an in-house assets which are under development of 1 gigawatt. We are also additionally very active in the green molecule space, and we are executing some of the marquee projects. I think cumulatively around 8,500 tons per annum of green molecules, which is in the form of hydrogen and its derivatives, ethanol and methanol, which are currently under construction. So we're also building a very robust green hydrogen and 4G fuel ecosystem. We have an electrolyzer manufacturing unit, which is around 300 megawatt capacity. We have just rolled out our first electrolyzers for one of our hydrogen dispensation plants. And this again is will play a pivotal role in meeting the country's energy green hydrogen demand. I think beyond domestic contribution, Jakson Green is a very vocal advocate for global climate action as well, right? Our participation in international forums like COP28, where we signed the Industrial Transition Agreement, ITA as it is called, and the tripling renewable pledge in the G20 summit underscores our commitment to addressing the climate, change on a global scale. I think we are integrating sustainability into every aspect of our operations, right? Right from our IGBC approved office building that we are currently located. It's one of the first platinum rated building, that was built in the NCR way back in around, 15 years back.
You're getting to the range of renewables. What's your vision?
See, I think though we are 2-year-old organization, but the depth and the wealth of knowledge in our leadership team is immense. And that's the reason why we've been able to scale ourselves up in such a short period of time. We have always envisioned ourselves as one of the pioneers and the leading forces in the transition towards a cleaner, more resilient energy future. A future where we at Jakson Green drive the innovation and sustainability for not only India, but on a global front. See, we are committed to expand our energy landscape by diversifying our portfolio across solar, right? Wind, storage, hybrid energy solutions are the ones which are, our next foray. We are also very active in the waste and to energy space solutions, right? Which includes the agri-waste to biogas, which also includes the food waste to biogas. We are also leveraging our expertise and technological prowess to create a robust in-house digitized energy transition platform. This is to optimize our renewable energy assets. This is not only being provided in-house to Jakson Green, but we also cater to third-party asset owners as well. We are in the process of developing the world's first integrated platform from green hydrogen and its derivatives-based assets in a similar lines as our solar and wind assets. Through these strategy initiatives, I think we aim to contribute significantly to India's energy independence, reduce carbon emissions, and create a sustainable future for generations to come. If I have to summarize our vision, I think we want to be rated as one of the leaders in the power to X ecosystem.
Thank you very much for sharing your insights about India's new energy transformation.
Thanks a lot.
You just heard Bikesh Ogra, the promoter and MD of Jakson Green. Thank you very much.
We hope you like this program. This program is also live streamed on All India Radio and aired on community radio stations. We look forward to your feedback on our WhatsApp number 9818120554. For participation in this program, write to us at sustainability.karma@gmail.com. You may also connect with us on social media. This podcast is also available on podcast hosting sites. Looking forward to meet you again at the same time next week with a new episode and a new guest. Till then, goodbye from all of us. Sustainability Karma, a podcast series with senior journalist and editor Rajiv Tikoo on sustainable development, sustainability and ESG.